called.
No, he didn't. He
Called.
stopped
She gonna
calling.
hide, text her
All
phone.
I'm trying to
God.
understand right now is what kind of best friend is this? Because it sounds like
No
he's
good
doing
best
more
friend, and that's
harm
the reason I left
than
him alone,
good in
Your
your
Honor.
relationship.
And that's the reason.
You should have
okay.
said that when I was at your house then.
I was hoping that you two needed to just get that out so we could get down to the business of uncovering the truth.
Right.
You were naked in her kitchen and she said, wow.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so go ahead with your details, because I will say this, you have come prepared for court with your details.
A broken engagement ring pawned off, and wedding called off as well. Oh dear, this case started off quite strong, and that was just the beginning. Ms. Russell was furious with her now ex-fiancé, all because he had the nerve to deny paternity. On the other hand, the defendant had enough of the baby mama and her family, and was ready to put them out of the house. That's a lot of information to process in just a few seconds.
Ms. Russell, you claim that Mr. Shepard has been denying the paternity of your 10-month-old daughter, Armani.
Yes.
You say he even took back your engagement ring, pawned it, and called off your wedding.
Now their relationship was a rocky one, and the baby mama was quite eager to enlighten the court about the bad attitude of Mr. Shepard. Apparently, Ms. Russell took longer than expected to come back from a grocery run, and the suspicions shot through the roof. Who would have guessed a walk to the store would end up causing this ruckus? But it did.
I mean, let me tell you this story, Your Honor. One
Please
day,
tell.
I walked to the store. It's hot. I stay in Texas. You know how Texas weather is. It's so hot. It's 100 degrees. I walk 4 blocks to the store. I come back, he getting all in my face. Where you been? What dude you
It
been
took you
with?
an hour and
And
30 minutes.
Come on now, an hour and 30 minutes.
to the
It's
store?
4 blocks. I'm like, come on, man. I don't have time for this. So I grab my stuff.
Hour
I
and
pack
30
my
minutes,
stuff
for
up.
real?
Well, the infamous best friend of Ms. Russell ended up causing a lot more trouble than he was worth. I mean, he clearly was a thorn on baby daddy's side. Big time. And that led to Mr. Shepard bringing out the big guns to finally get rid of the said best friend.
We was going to AutoZone and to check the battery on my truck. A guy called the phone.
My
And
best
so
friend, Your Honor.
He called the
Since
phone
I've been
talking
21,
about she
since
don't
the
want
age
to.
of 21.
She having sex with me. She don't want to. She having sex with me.
That's a
And
lie.
so, wait a minute. Now,
That's a lie.
so you're there when he answers your phone,
Yeah.
obviously.
She-
I
she
told him
told me
to
to
answer
answer
the
the phone.
phone. If I was cheating, would I tell him to answer the phone? I
But
would
why
have
would the
answered my
guy
own
tell me
phone.
stuff like that?
Because you know good.
The baby mama swore nothing fishy was happening between the best friend and her. And it seemed these guys went way back, but still, Mr. Shepard was not entirely too convinced by that. And so the baby mama just got up and left the house. Drama, drama, drama.
Never.
Okay.
Never. He had a girlfriend. The whole time me and him been best friends. I mean, Your Honor, like I told you, I've
So
been
why
knowing him
was he
since I
all
was
up in
21.
your mix?
Because he was the only one that was
He
there for me.
continued to call,
He
he
was the
continued-
only one that, like,
She
him
go
and
hide,
his family
text,
was
all
my
that.
family. Because I really didn't have anyone when I was coming up. Him and his family was my family. When my grandmama passed away and I needed somewhere to stay, that's who I was staying
So
with.
you
was
felt
him
like
and
he was
my
protective
brother.
over you.
He was my brother.
protective over
yes,
you.
Ma'am.
So he was letting him
That's a
know.
lie.
Now, here comes the real gut punch. Ms. Russell ended up pregnant, and that too just a week later. So of course, the baby daddy didn't roll out the red carpet on this news. The cheating allegations began, and the engagement took a nosedive. All the while, the plaintiff kept defending herself.
You are you not taking his call?
I mean, in the beginning, no, I wasn't.
Okay.
But at the end, yes, I did start taking his calls.
How long did you call before she answered?
I've been calling ever since she left. Like, cause
So how long was that?
when she left, I say like a couple of hours after that, I started calling her because a lot of men be over there, girls,
Just 'cause men be
all
over
type
there,
of
that
stuff
don't
be
mean I'm
going
worried
on
about
over there. Anything goes on behind closed doors.
The window of conception was where things got pretty hazy. The baby daddy presented the good old conception calendar, highlighting the window where the math just didn't add up. The air buzzed with uncertainty and doubt, and it got thick when the baby revealed who else believed that the baby mama was a big old cheater.
So Mr. Shepard, this is the core of your doubt.
Yes.
Okay. The doubt also stems from the fact that you claim her mother has told you that she cheated
Yes.
on you.
One time, I told her mother to help clean up the house because she was like to lay around and stuff. So she got mad and started telling me, that's why it's not your baby. She don't look nothing like you. I be taking, when you at work, I take Gina to other men's house.
Next up, we got some key players in this courtroom drama. The defendant's witness came forward first, and her testimony just shook the whole place down. Dear God, what was up with these guys?
And you are...
I'm the mother of Gina.
Oh, you're Gina's mother.
Yes, ma'am.
But you're Mr. Shepard's witness.
Yes.
That don't even sound right. I know, Your Honor. That don't even sound right. That don't even
So,
sound
Ms.
right.
Russell, what do you have to add to this?
Well, Your Honor, Gina has been cheating on
That's a
Ernest,
lie.
I have witnessed
Well, I
it.
tell you.
I have witnessed it, and I don't believe that Amani is Ernest's baby.
Well, if the baby mama's mother was on his side, take a guess who was on the side of Ms. Russell. Ding, 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 it was Mr. Sheprad's mother. And wait till you see the colorful words she used to describe the other duo as well. Man, oh man, it's real life. Mom's gone wild over here?
I'm Verlene Shepard, and Ernest Shepard is my son. And those two are crazy. He's controlling.
Man, you
He's
crazy. You
controlling.
on her side. You supposed to be
He's
over here with me.
controlling.
Wait. You are his mother.
Yes.
She supposed to be over here with me, not her.
Yes.
She on her side.
He's controlling.
I don't control
If Gina
nothing.
goes to the restroom, he's pulling her underwear down. That's how.
The drama didn't end just yet. Oh no! It was still going strong as the baby mama ranted about the daddy singing the same song. The entire pregnancy, and after the baby was born, there was just no love for her. All love went to the son. It was infuriating to say the least. However, Mr. Shepard had a justification all ready to share.
One day we at the hospital. I'm at my doctor's appointment. The doctor showing us the ultrasound of telling me that it's a little girl. He gonna tell me that ain't my baby. Call your husband and tell your husband y'all just had a little girl.
Where's your husband?
I could have sworn he supposed to be my husband.
Her best friend or somebody.
Oh,
The
you
best
meant
friend
the
or
best
something.
friend.
No, I ain't meet
Years.
her. He don't want to see me.
After that, we go back home.
Now, for the moment of truth. All results were ready to be rolled out. Ms. Russell's truth-telling skills were put to the test before revealing the paternity results. Let's see whether she passed with flying colors or not.
Mr. Shepard, you are the father. How do you feel?
I mean, I feel good about that, you know what I'm saying? Because that was I was concerned about. That's my daughter now, but since that's my daughter, I'm going to take care of her. Like I take care of my son. So, ain't no problem with that, but with her, I don't know. Right now, I got to gather my thoughts and see what I'm going to do.
A tumultuous relationship was built on shaky ground. And now it was shaking like crazy. Ms. Salvo wanted the defendant to step up and be a father, but he wasn't singing that tune. Not so much. Apparently, the guy had proof that he wasn't the father, and baby mama was very particular about her taste in men.
Ms. Salvo, you claim that around the time you conceived your 1-year-old daughter, Amaya, you carried on a sexual relationship with the defendant, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Today you say you desperately want to prove Mr. Gonzalez is her biological father because it will break your heart if she has to grow up without a dad.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, you state you're also hoping Amaya is your daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Salvo and Mr. Gonzalez's love story reads more like a parody of a romantic comedy. She claimed it was a one-time passion. However, Mr. Gonzalez insisted it was a series of rendezvous. Yep, and he went quite graphic with the details. Cue the sarcastic slow clap, please.
Mr. Gonzalez,
experience.
you've only had sex with Miss Salvo one time?
No, Your Honor. It was more than 6 times.
So tell me about the nature of this relationship.
All right, I started off with her mom knew my mom. I knew Ashley. So we will go over, we'll drink, we'll watch movies and stuff. One thing led to another. We started kissing, we started touching on each other. We went to the room, we had sex.
The plot thickened as the baby mama explained the circumstances that led up to the pregnancy, juggling men like a circus performer. Yep, but in her defense, it was only 2 men. Guess she was playing the field and doing her thing.
The whole part 6 times, that's ridiculous. It wasn't even good, so why would I keep going?
So you had sex with Mr. Gonzalez one time?
Yes.
The sex was protected or not?
It wasn't.
And so it is your contention that that sexual encounter is what made beautiful Amaya?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, he claims in his testimony you were with other men.
I had a current boyfriend at the time yet.
Now, initially, the baby mama was sure baby Amaya was her boyfriend's, but that theory went out the window pretty soon when she started resembling the defendant day by day. And so the alarm bells started ringing off in her head. She had picture evidence to support her claim as well.
Only reason you excluded your ex-boyfriend?
Yes.
Is because you felt like Amaya looked Hispanic and not black?
She has too much of him. She looks way too much. The dimple, she has one dimple just like he does. The shape of his eyebrows, that's him. Her nose, I have a picture that I can show you. They're twins.
What is that you're holding, ma'am?
It's a picture of my daughter with her one dimple.
Jerome, will you please pass that evidence to me?
Looks can be awfully deceiving. The paternity court was proof of that enough. And so the judge ended up raising the most important question of all. Did the supposed boyfriend have a paternity test done on him? Let's see what the mommy had to say to that.
Well, you know the only way to truly exclude a potential father in a paternity situation is a DNA test.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you test your ex at all?
I did test him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, and what happened?
He's not the father.
Well, that's what your evidence is, Miss Salvo. Okay, so you had your ex tested.
Enter the doubts and betrayals, ladies and gentlemen. Because the baby daddy was still denying paternity, Mr. Gonzalez countered with accusations, including an eyebrow-raising revelation about a best friend's involvement. Looks like he wasn't the only Hispanic the baby mama had a dalliance with. Trust issues? More like trust is obliterated.
I took my best friend over there to her house. 5 days later, I get in the car with my best friend. He's Hispanic, Puerto Rican. He tells me, I'm sorry, Julio, but I gotta show you something. I'm like, what you mean you gotta show me something? He showed me naked pictures of Ashley like this.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Your
Yes,
Honor.
Your best friend had naked pictures of Miss Salvo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Salvo?
He's lying.
A wild ride of emotions and questionable decisions coming right up, people. Better buckle up. Looks like Miss Salvo took a trip to the mall to meet a certain someone, and the supposed motorcycle rendezvous ultimately ended up exposing her.
I started walking home. She calls me and she asked me why I left, because I felt like I was getting played.
Why did you feel like you were getting
She went
played?
to meet up with a guy.
And you know that for a fact?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you know that for a fact?
Because it came out that night. Her mom and the guy, he told me that he dropped her off in the motorcycle at the mall, and that's when I got up and left.
And did he say they were in a sexual relationship?
I don't want to talk bad about her, but she slept with guys.
Even after all that, Miss Salvo still claimed she was faithful to only 2 men. Yeah, but Mr. Gonzalez wasn't buying it. Nope. Was it a circus or a merry-go-round of lovers? Confusion reigned supreme over here as the baby daddy shared another instance involving yet another Mexican dude. Yep, mama couldn't get enough.
One night, and this is another doubt I got in my head. One night, we're all hanging out next to my mama's house. We're eating, partying, having fun. This Mexican guy keep looking mad at me like he want to fight me or something. I asked, Ashley, why that guy so mad at me? Why he looked like he want to fight me? Oh, because he wanted to be the baby daddy, but I told him, you're the baby daddy.
Was that your response to that question, Miss Salvo?
All this ruckus led to the baby mama raising the baby all by herself. She claimed the baby daddy was of no help at all. Mr. Gonzalez immediately came to his own defense. However, the real role of the father was being played by the plaintiff's fiancé. Yeah, the woman was engaged now. No kidding.
Excuse me, Your Honor. When that baby was born, we got her formula, diapers, baby carrier, crate, everything.
Excuse me.
A crate?
Excuse me.
A baby where the baby sleeps.
A crib.
A crib.
Right.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Okay, so you got her a crib.
That's a bold-faced lie. First off, he has not came out of his pocket not one single time. Oh, let me take that back.
Enough with this drama. These guys went nowhere, just kept going around in circles. The results were looming large, and it was the moment to reveal them. Is Mr. Gonzalez going to hear those 4 magical words? We are about to find out.
Mr. Gonzalez, it has been determined by this court that you are not the father.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Can I still come around and see Amaya and help her out if I can? Because for a year and 4 or 5 months, she's been my daughter, and she's still going to be my daughter.
Miss Scott just had twins a month ago, and yet she was here in paternity court to get some answers for her firstborn baby, Jaden. Now she was positive. The baby daddy was Mr. Alexander, but he didn't seem too thrilled over that prospect. And with that, let's dive right in this case. People.
Miss Scott, you claim that you and the defendant, Mr. Holloway, were overjoyed when you gave birth to your twin sons just last month. However, you say those joyous emotions quickly turned to shock when Mr. Holloway then began denying paternity of another one of your children, 1-year-old Jaden. Mr. Holloway, you and your mother say that although you are the father of her newborn twins, you believe Miss Scott cheated on you.
Ah, the tangled web of relationships. Ain't that a hassle of its own, huh? Baby mama insisted she and the other guy were just friends with benefits. On the other hand, she and Mr. Alexander was like old pals. That's some weird combination right here? Well, to each their own. But the real question was, who wore the crown of Mr. Right in this love triangle?
Me and Mr. Alexander were just friends. We did, mess around like years ago, and he's been my friend about as long as I've known Mr. Holloway.
Okay.
And around the time that my son Jaden was conceived, I had no contact with him, and we haven't even been in a relationship. He won't even commit to me. He's left me multiple times for other women and committed to them.
Betrayal and hurt simmered in the defendant's corner. The alleged baby daddy was convinced Ms. Scott played a game of paternity roulette by maintaining ties with Mr. Alexander. The man even had dates memorized during which such fun times took place. Now that was something.
Like I said, he had left me before, and when we weren't talking, like the whole year of 2012, we weren't talking, I did see other people. But around the time that Jaden was conceived, I was not sleeping with Mr. Alexander.
All right, so Mr. Holloway, why are you so convinced that Mr. Alexander is the father of the child?
Because before all this even started in 2012 of October.
Well, the roller coaster of on-again, off-again relationships, with a dash of occasional flings with the other fella, landed the baby mama in this paternity pickle. However, the defendant's mother accompanied him to the court, and boy, did she love the plaintiff. Ah, and there they went ripping at each other. Calm down, people. This isn't your backyard.
Because the friends.
Why did you sign the birth certificate?
Because of the friends. Because she was the one telling the friends about what was going on in her life with this guy. And then when the friend decided she wanted to tell my son that
we hung out.
See, same thing.
See, the thing is,
same thing.
So hold on.
That's not sleeping together and hanging out is two different things.
So she told her friend.
Now, initially, the baby daddy let bygones be bygones and went along with the merry news of the pregnancy. And then, bam, a Christmas picture of the baby hit him out of nowhere. Now the alarms in his head were ringing loud and clear. So he took the matter into his own hands and let his mommy be the judge of who the baby looked like. Very mature, yeah.
Jaden, matter of fact, that same picture.
He looks like me.
She posted that picture on Facebook, and before I even saw that picture, I had saw Mr. Alexander in 2012, which was the last time I saw him face to face. And when I seen this picture, he looked just like Mr. Alexander. So that's when I began to have doubts.
I have a picture too, Your Honor, of it that my son texted to me of him.
Clearly these guys weren't fans of each other. Confusion and desperation are the order of the day, folks. Buckle up, because next up we had birthday party invites and Facebook drama taking center stage. Who knew paternity battles could be so drama-packed?
I got a whole lot to say, because if it's not, I still want to see the baby. You be denying me from it.
How do I do that?
You know exactly how
do I do that? What, you mad about the birthday party? That wasn't my place to invite you. You could have came. Matter of fact, I heard you was on your way. You didn't even show up. No, that's not my place to invite you. And
why?
Me and you weren't
How come
even
it's not your place? You the
me
mother.
And you weren't even speaking at the time.
See what I'm saying?
Continuing the accusations, we get to know that the baby mama apparently didn't let these guys hold the baby. Yep, pretty bold accusations were being fired left and right, and the baby mama was smack dab in the middle of it all.
Like ever since this baby been born, because when I went to the hospital to see the baby, and she telling people in the hospital like he's not finna be passed around like a trophy, because I know that she meant she didn't want me to hold the baby.
Actually I meant, did you see how many people was there, how many friends I had there? It wasn't even about you. Why you make this about you? It's about Jaden.
It ain't about me. It ain't about me.
So quit
it's always been about Jaden.
Anyway,
you don't want to know nothing about it. It's about Jaden until now, Your Honor.
So the baby daddy, along with his entourage, were present at the time of the birth. The environment there must have been palpable with rising tension, huh? But as soon as the baby daddy got a glimpse of that baby face, he was on high alert. Uh-oh! And Ms. Scott had the gall to justify like this.
This picture, and I know for a fact that Ms. Scott and Mr. Alexander keep in contact. They've kept in contact.
We are friends. That's like one of my best friends.
That they had a sexual relationship with, though.
While I was pregnant, no, I haven't. That was years ago.
This is not years ago,
And while
Your
I was
Honor.
pregnant with Jaden, he had like offered to even buy my son some shoes. Just being a friend.
You're right.
He's not trying to take charge and be his daddy.
Right.
About time, Mr. Alexander graced the court with his presence. If you hoped he would be able to untangle this paternity mess, well, that didn't happen. He testified that he and the baby mama haven't talked in quite some time. Way to go and make this more of a mess than it already was, huh? Ms. Scott had been a busy bee, for sure.
So why don't you believe you could be Jaden's father?
Because the last time we had sex was like 2009, 2010.
That's definitely outside the window of conception. But Mr. Holloway, you did not blink an eye when he said that. You don't believe that?
I don't believe that. They've kept in contact since her first pregnancy when she was pregnant with Jaden. They've been talking the whole time.
We talked
all the way
times,
all the way
so
until
what?
now.
Time to wrap this drama up, because none of this made any sense anymore. The only way to put a stop to this was to unveil the DNA results. Let's see whether the results uncomplicate this mess or not.
Mr. Alexander, you are not his father.
Yes.
Mr. Holloway, you are his father.
Yes. And I don't like it, and I know she's gonna keep it because she's so hateful and mean.
Now this is just too much.
An angry daddy was here with his daughter, and they were ready to fight the claim of the defendant. All his life, Mr. Jennings believed he was the father of their daughter. And then out of nowhere, Ms. Lynn had a change of heart, but he wasn't ready to let it go that easily, and so they were ready to fight it out.
Mr. Jennings, after raising your daughter Taylor for 26 years, from diapers to adulthood, and never doubting paternity of your little girl, you are furious that you had to drag your ex-wife to court because she is now claiming you are not her daughter's biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Lynn, you admit your ex-husband believed he's Taylor's father.
The two star-crossed teenagers hell-bent on defying their parents' wishes. Sounds like the plot of a drama, right? Nope, that was the case with these guys. They rushed with things so fast, you are bound to get dizzy. But hold on, the baby mama was apparently up to no good. There were multiple contenders in the ring. Drama level, teenage soap opera.
All right, I was very young. My parents did not want us together at all. It was strictly forbidden. I ran away from home to be with him. And the only way we could be together and get married without my parents' signature was I had to be pregnant by Georgia law.
So you all, as teenagers, concocted a scheme to be able to get married?
In order for us to get married.
Let's dive in the doubts and reservations that surrounded the pregnancy, and they were quite a lot. Ms. Lynn admitted to sleeping around, but Mr. Jennings claimed he had no idea about her affairs. Nada, the bombshell, and now they were trying to figure out when the daughter was actually conceived.
You all planned this, you got pregnant, you were able to get married, and you had the baby.
Yes, ma'am.
How did the other men get in this?
Well, he got the dates wrong.
And you never knew Mr. Jennings?
I never knew that she was messing around with nobody other than me.
Did he know you were messing around?
Yes, he did. Because
Mr.
my
Jennings,
ex
please
before
step back
him
to the podium.
Is one of the possibilities to be her father. He knows this because they hate each other with a passion.
About time, the baby daddy dropped the bomb that he was in fact aware of only one possible rival in this paternity showdown, but that was their sworn enemy. Ooh mama, but guess what? The dates don't match up at all. Alabama mountaintop rendezvous, anyone?
Mr. Jennings, did you believe she was your biological child? Ms. Lynn, did you ever tell Mr. Jennings that you had also slept with other men, or did you just keep that?
Yes, ma'am, and he was well aware, because when Taylor was about a month and a half, 2 months old, one of the potential fathers, we sat down with him and discussed having a DNA test done then, but it was never done.
Cue the daughter entering the scene with her teenage angst. At 13, she heard the earth-shattering news that Mr. Jennings might not be her real daddy, and so the identity crisis began, but she wasn't giving up. She made it her mission to find out the truth.
Because your testimony is that you've been open to get a DNA test from the very beginning because you knew there was more than one possibility.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Mr. Jennings even a possibility?
Yes.
Okay. And Taylor, this has always been daddy to you. This is your daddy.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so at 13, you heard the words come out of your mother's mouth that Mr. Jennings was not your biological father.
Yes.
Ah, birth certificates and Facebook stalking. The modern-day weapons in this battle for paternity truth. Ms. Lynn's social media sleuthing led her to a potential biological father. Sherlock Holmes strikes again. But wait, there was another guy in the shadows who wanted no part of this paternity circus. Dear Lord.
They tried to reassure you, no, this is your father.
Yes, Your Honor.
And at that moment, did you always have it in the back of your mind, or did you just let it go?
I've always had it in the back of my mind. Like, that's why I'm here now.
So when did you start acting on that notion you had? You couldn't let go of this notion.
When I was 23.
And what did you do?
I asked her, it was Thanksgiving or Christmas. I asked her because the other guy.
It's Judgment Day, and the results were in. Ms. Taylor was on the edge of her seat and all ready to put this all behind her once and for all. Let's see whether she gets the answer she was looking for.
Mr. Jennings, you are not the father. I'm very sorry, Taylor. I know this was not the news you wanted.
Taylor, just remember this, baby. It takes more than having a baby to be a parent. He's always been your daddy. He's always gonna be your daddy.
Yeah, but if it was right in the first way, we wouldn't even be here.
Two dads fighting over the same daughter. Both were sure they were the real deal. In one corner, we had Mr. Thompson, who had relations with the mother, while in the other corner was Mr. Fresneda, who was the husband of the said baby mama. The 30-year-long paternity battle was going to reach a conclusion today.
Mr. Thompson, you've dragged the defendant, Mr. Fresneda, to court to prove that you, not he, fathered Miss Jasmine Robinson. You've never met Ms. Robinson, but say today you'll prove she's yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Fresneda, you were married to Ms. Robinson's mother and claim today's DNA test results will confirm that you are the biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, here was the scoop. Mr. Thompson had a thing with Ms. Robinson's mom way back, while Mr. Fresneda was MIA. Fast forward to the baby's arrival, and the family started dropping hints that she might be a Thompson, not a Fresneda. Yep, however, the poor girl, who was in the middle of all this, was left in the dark.
Mother had relations while Miss Fresneda was away. When Miss Fresneda came back into the picture, I stopped seeing Sonia, and she was pregnant. When the child was born, family members came to me stating, that she looks like me and things of that nature. And Sonia said no, she knows who she got pregnant by.
So, Miss Robinson, have you ever, in your 29 years,
Cue the heartache and betrayal, people, because Ms. Robinson was hurt that nobody spilled the beans about her potential paternity. Now the plaintiff did reach out to her in the past couple of times, and the last time when he did contact her was after the passing of her mother. Guess the guy was just waiting for this time, and boom, he dropped this bombshell on his daughter.
She's my daughter.
So, Miss Robinson, how did you find out Mr. Thompson was even looking for you?
Okay, in June 2010, he had messaged me on Facebook, the first message, and was like, hey, tell your mom that I said hi. But I just brushed it off. I'm like, my mom has her own Facebook page. It's just somebody that she knows. So I just left it alone. Didn't say anything about it.
Time for a little rewind, folks, because there was a lot to unpack here. Initially, Ms. Robinson thought someone was playing a cruel joke on her, but a call with Aunt Felicia, and bam, this nightmare turned into a reality. So the hush-hush love affair of her mother dearest came to light. About time, too.
Guy named Ladner Thompson's messaging me on Facebook saying that he's my dad and not my dad. And then she was like, what's his name? And I had said Ladner Thompson. And she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, oh my God, what? And then she started explaining to me like, oh yeah, he was with your mom while your dad was away. And when you was born, he was coming around saying that you was his child, but your mom was so adamant and kept denying it and kept saying no, 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 no.
Now the craziest thing was that they all lived in that small town, and Mr. Thompson used to run into the mother and the daughter from time to time, and his heart ached, but the secret was to be kept, so he went along his merry way.
When, I would see her with her mother walking down the street, I would say hi to Sonia and then look at the baby. I'm looking at the baby being adamant in my heart that she's mine, but at the same time, the mom said that it was Mr. Fernandez, so we left it alone.
I feel like that's when it really should have came out. Like, you see me and you feel like if you feel in your heart so bad that I'm your daughter.
Yes, and I'm so sorry for that, but
Finally, Mr. Fresneda got the much-needed time to state his case. He was fully aware of the situation that went on between his wife and the plaintiff, but he took her wife's words and spent all these years believing that and raising the girl as her own. However, he did have one grievance with Mr. Thompson.
And like he says, on more than one occasion, and she always said to me that Jasmine was my firstborn, and that was good enough for me, Your Honor. We went on and had 4 more children after that, and they all belong to me, okay? Now my point in here, point I'm trying to make in here, Your Honor, that I wish that he would have addressed me before he sent her a Facebook or whatever. I know he couldn't be able to find me because
Enter Aunt Felicia, the keeper of family secrets. Now she was here to shed some much-needed light on this family secret of years. According to her, the baby mama would always get mad whenever the paternity of Ms. Robinson was brought up. Well, ain't that guilt rearing its ugly head? Moreover, she also claimed the daughter started resembling more and more like the plaintiff, which made the secret much harder to be kept.
If we brought it to her attention, she always said that Ladner was not Jasmine's father.
So why were you bringing it to her attention?
Because as Jasmine was growing up, I, as the aunt, started seeing a little difference in the children.
You did?
I did, but because Sonia always was very, very at point, she would get angry.
Now this was the first time the alleged baby daddy laid eyes on Ms. Robinson since she grew up, and some very real concerns of his made him take this step to finally settle this paternity doubt once and for all.
12 grandbabies. Who's to say her kids don't hook up with my grandbabies?
And so you have a real concern because your family, the family you've made, you want her to be able to understand whether or not her children are related to yours.
And if she is my child, I want to build a relationship with her, and her kids.
And
all
this
my
is the
kids.
first time you've...
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the DNA results. Will this 30-year-old paternity secret finally get sorted out, or will it complicate things even more for these families? Well, the answer was in the envelope, so let's hear it.
Mr. Thompson, or Mr. Fresneda, is the father of 29-year-old Jasmine Robinson. It has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Thompson. You are her father.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Sorry.